Hi guys, welcome to my very first FlossTube. My name is Lynn. I'm a wife, mother of two. We have a boy who is 14. He'll be 15 closer to right now than he is 14. And we have a 9-year-old daughter. I have been stitching since I was 6. My very first project was a tiny little ice cream cone that I entered into our school art fair. We had a science fair one year, then an art fair the next, and I believe I got first prize for that. And I've been stitching ever since. I did have a long hiatus when our son was born, because by the time I was working full-time at the time, and by the time I felt like I could handle him and working and dinner, our daughter came along. So now that they're older, I can get back into it. And I just finished And a Forest Grew. That is at the Framers. And I thought I'd share with you what I'm currently working on and how I do my rotation. I do not have cover photos for all of these because some of them are PDFs and I don't print out the example photo. So I will, if I don't have that, I'll insert it somewhere over here. So the first one I'm working on is a historical sampler company. It is their Winter Wonderland at Night. And I work on each of my projects for 5 hours, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but I have 6 projects, 5 hours, 30 hours. That's approximately an hour a day for a month. So that's what we're working with right now. We'll see how it works, but that's what we're working with right now. So I'm stitching this. Here's where I currently am. This is 28 count Monaco, I believe. I still left the tag on it so that I'd remember. Yep, Monaco 28 count. It's by To Die For Fabrics. She's on Etsy as well as she has her own website, but she's taking a break until August. This color is not what was called for. I did this one myself. And it's called Stormageddon, which I'm sure you can figure out why. So I am 3 hours into my 5-hour block on this one. Then the next one I have is, I have to figure out where I put my fabric in here. The Chatelaine Medieval Town. I've heard people say mandala and I've heard people say mandala. So, and this one, I started this before my hiatus, so I do not remember what fabric this is, but isn't it pretty? And here's how far I've gotten. This is going to be gorgeous when done, but obviously it's going to take forever. But also, like I said, I'll insert something over here so you can see what it's supposed to look like when it's done. And the reason I am doing a rotation is I have some of these larger projects, I have some smaller things, and they're all calling my name. So at least this way, they all get a little attention. This is the Sunflower Seed Tall Seasons. I don't know where the cover is for this one. Again, I started it before my hiatus. So somewhere over here. And this is how far I am. This has a block or a rectangle for each season, and then across the bottom, which will be, down here, it says north, south, east, west, not the whole word, just NSEW. And it's in the same floss as whatever the house is. This one is a combination of DMC and Simply Shaker, the Gentle Art. So this is not the fabric that was called for, but it's the fabric I had on hand and it matched well enough. So obviously I don't have a serger. So are we still using fray check all these years later? Because the fraying is driving me crazy. And I don't know anyone who does have one that could do it for me. So I do keep these in bags. If you'd like to see how I store my projects, I'd be happy to share that with you. The next 3 I added to my rotation. I haven't started them yet. This will be the start of them when I get to them. The first one is Patriotic Tiny Town by Heart and Hand. I figured these should work up pretty quick because it's pretty solid. And I do have a friend who has someone who will finish it, because I'm not a sewer. And I'm going to be doing this on 32 count Stormy Night Lugana. This is actually big enough that I will be able to cut this in half and use it twice, because there is a whole series of those tiny towns. This is from Silk Weavers, Dyed by Jim, Needlework with Jim. That's who did that fabric. This one is another tiny town, but it's the seaside one. So I haven't pulled. These are, they're all classic color works, which are, I think, are like $3 or $4 a piece now. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 of those. And then 2 weeks, or 1 week's dye works. And it comes with the beads. So I think, that's a whole lot of specialty floss. I think I might convert these to DMC. What I'll probably do is look at online the specialty floss compared to the DMC to make sure that they're, a pretty good match, and go based on that. Then this is a 32 count Belfast Opal Raw Linen that I'm going to do it on. I left it in the package. Maybe I should have taken it out for you guys to see. It's hard to see there we go. I think that'll be really pretty. And then last but not least, I have not gotten fabric for this one yet. I need to place an order at 123 Stitch. This is the Moni Di Donna Winter Vibes Sewing Basket. And again, she has a series of these. So it's not very high, but you need a long piece of fabric. It calls for fabric specifically made by her, but I think I'm going to go with something that's a little easier to find. So isn't that cute? And it has another picture on the back. So that's what I'm currently working on. Like I said, 5 hours on each, and then I'll rotate. I do not have a specific rotation order, just as long as I hit every one before I hit another. So like I've already done 5 hours on the Tall Seasons. So I can't hit that one again until I've done 5 hours on, all of these. So thanks for joining me for my first FlossTube. I'm hoping to do an update at the beginning of every month. Unless you'd rather see an update after every project. I thought that might be a little much. It would lead to shorter videos, but that's personal preference. But with the kids home over the summer, and we have daily sports practice, my goal is an update at the beginning of every month. So I hope you'll join me, and thanks so much for watching. Bye.